Welcome to Classic Value Investors and Microcap Explosions. This is the conclusion comments for the Why I Hate the Miners video series. I could continue with videos like this. Like I said before, I could make a separate YouTube channel about this industry and how they mess up, but I just wanted to present to you in these 10 videos just the companies that I was in one way or another involved in and how it turned out. And, hopefully you will take these lessons and these stories and apply them to your own investing, whether it is to stay invested in this industry or stay away from this industry. It's completely up to you. As I was joking in the first video, my hope is to vaccinate your brain against this industry, and hopefully I vaccinated it so that if you do choose to stay in it, you will be somewhat protected from this mining virus. And the message that I wanted to tell you is that this is a very shitty and risky business, and nobody will tell you that. Okay, they all want to tell you the upside. The industry works in a particular way that you obviously have, good, bad, and average projects. You have excellent, average, and bad managers. I don't believe that the people that were featured in here were crooks, but you do have managers out there that are pure crooks. I wasn't focused on that. I was focused on, people who try to make these projects work, but for either incompetence or lack of knowledge or bad decisions, or maybe the project was bad, whatever, not high grade enough, whatever, they failed. Okay. But the bottom line is that they all made incredible promises, and then they pretty much delivered on nothing. And if you look up some of these people now, what they are involved in, you will find that many of them are simply peddling new projects, because they're not going to go out and say, oh, oops, I failed in this one and go and get a job. No, they're going to go and find another project, because that's how the industry operates. There are some operators that truly have a decent project, and then there are others that are like, what's popular? Oh, gold and silver. Let me go and find a project because I can sell the dream to investors. And what they do is they find some kind of project that was, dropped by someone else, and then they buy it. They form a company. Their own money buys them shares at a cheap price. Then they go out and then they promote the story. They hire a bunch of investor relations firms or YouTube channels that are dedicated to this sector, and then they tell the story. The stock price goes up, they do a bunch of private placements to raise money at a higher price to do the drilling, and then you end up paying for the drilling, and if the project works out, then everybody makes a lot of money. But for them, it's like buying a free lottery ticket. If it works, they make a lot of money. If it doesn't, oops, let's try another one, but you in the process lose all or a lot of your money. So I just wanted you to be aware of it, so that when you listen to these promises, you can make your own decisions on how much money you want to put into it, whether you want to put anything at all, or, whether you want to believe in the story. But for me, I think I made it pretty clear that I am out. I am out from this industry. I've had enough of the promises. To me, it doesn't matter what they tell me anymore. It doesn't matter who is involved. Sprott, Lundin, whatever. These people showed me what they are capable of, and I have zero interest in hearing their story. I just close my ears and I don't want to hear it, because I can make money in real businesses that have real customers that are underfollowed, don't have any analyst coverage, And most importantly, these businesses don't need investors. You see these mining deals, they need you. That's why they promote, because they need you. Somebody has to pay for the drilling. Somebody has to pay for all of the studies. I personally choose to focus now on businesses that don't need investors, that their business speaks for themselves. And as long as the business continues to perform the way it does, the value will get recognized over time. I don't want to focus on businesses that need investors for survival. So, of course, you want to know, if I hate this sector so much, why I am still invested in Oracle and how I view this whole situation. So the common theme behind all of these failures that I presented to you was, number one, they were all trying to put something into production. Okay, and that's where they failed. Oracle is not trying to put anything into production, and that's why I said many times, the moment I hear that the management wants to put this thing into production, I'm out. There's going to be no, but this, we're going to do it favorably or we're going to succeed. I'm out. You want to put this thing into production, you go ahead and do it, but without me. Second reason is that I like Oracle versus the other ones. It's Oracle is in copper, not gold, not silver. Big difference. What I don't like about gold is that gold needs investment demand, and investors are flaky. Today, they want to be in gold because today they believe that government printing around the world will create inflation. Tomorrow, they might say it doesn't matter. The next day, they might say it matters. The third day, they might say Bitcoin is better. I don't want to rely on investment demand. And silver is a little bit better than gold in this term, but still silver needs investment demand. As a result of this, I don't want to hear about these metals. Investors showed me how much conviction they have in their beliefs, and I don't want to hear it anymore. Copper, on the other hand, doesn't need them at all. Copper is used by industry. Copper is going to be in more demand because of underlying fundamentals of how the world is changing, of the economies, and if investors want to come in and buy some copper, fine with me, but we don't need them. Number three, Oracle doesn't need to find more copper. From the beginning, what was so special about it is that I knew they already had a huge deposit. Notice that from the time that I acquired it for 4 cents, when the market cap was 3 million, did they drill anything? No, they absolutely did nothing other than studies and solve the legal problems. I know the copper is there. I know it's been confirmed and reconfirmed by many different parties that were passing on this property to each other. So I'm not looking for copper. I know I already have copper, and what I'm looking for is just confirming that it's there, and I'm pretty confident that there will be more, but I don't need it. Number four, all they need to do at this point is just get the drilling permit and drill and get that done. Now, is there any risk to not getting the drill permit? Practically nothing. All of these companies that you saw featured, all of them, even Caballo Blanco, which didn't get the production or environmental permit, they sure got the exploration permit. That's how they were able to destroy and burn through all this money. So the government will give you drilling permit, and you will most likely, destroy all the money on drilling, but that's exactly what we want from Oracle, and that's exactly what we need from Oracle. So I am not too concerned about the drilling permit at all. Number five, after the drilling takes place, all Oracle is going to do is sell the property to somebody else instead of putting it into production. So in other words, all the drilling and all the studies lead to is having a nice brochure that says, hey, we have so much copper in the ground. The metallurgy said that it's going to be this. This is how much it's going to be cost to put into production. This is what the operating costs are going to be. Now, this is what the net present value is, and this is the product that we're selling to you. So in other words, you're really selling a dream to someone else, and then that someone else who's going to buy this, they're going to go out and put beautiful graphs and presentations like Timmins did. This is what it's going to do to our production profile. They're going to sell it to their own investors, to their own boards, and then when they put the property into production, then they will be dealing with cost overruns, inaccurate projections being turned into reality, finishing the environmental permits, all of the issues that developers deal with, somebody else will deal with this. And that's one of the reasons why when majors buy these projects, they pay a percentage of net present value, because they know that whatever is on the brochure is probably overstated, and they need to apply some kind of discount in order to deal with those risks. But if a major acquires a project like this and then they run into all sorts of problems or cost overruns, they at least have the financial power, the money in the bank that they can deal with those problems. But if Oracle were to put this thing into production, they wouldn't have the financial power to deal with all the problems that come with developing any sort of project. Finally, Oracle's management delivers. I mean, they do what they say, which now, from my experience, is just simply unbelievable in this sector. I thought that, saying one thing and doing it was the normal course of business, but that's not the case in this industry. This is something extraordinary. So anyway, these are the reasons of why I see why Oracle is different and why I'm still sticking around with it. Now, you don't have to agree with me, but these are my views on how Oracle compares to the mess-ups that I presented to you over the last 10 videos. Now, with all this information and this entire series, you can take it and do whatever you want with it. If you choose to stay and invest in this sector, all I will tell you is good luck, because you will need it. Microcap Explosions, a private membership website that is miner free.